Hello dear students, myself Ketan Patel. Here in this video, I'll be explaining about measurement of torque and shaft power in the subject of mechanical measurement and metrology. So first of all, we want to know the classification of dynamometer. So first we start with the classification of dynamometer. So first one is absorption dynamometer, which absorption dynamometer. Okay, absorption dynamometer means in this dynamometer energy is totally absorbed by the brake and then transferred into the heat. So definitions become: in this dynamometer, energy produced by the engine is absorbed by frictional resistance of brake and then finally transferred into the heat. Clear? First energy is absorbed by the brake and then transferred into heat. Clear? Okay. Then what is the example of absorption dynamometer? First, Prony brake dynamometer, and in Prony brake dynamometer there are subtypes, that is block and band type dynamometer. Second one is rope brake dynamometer. Third one is hydraulic dynamometer, and last one eddy current dynamometer. Okay, if in the exam question asks that give the classification of only absorption dynamometer and explain any one of them, so students, you have to write the classification of only absorption dynamometer. These four, clear? These four, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and explain any one of them. So you have to explain any one of them. Okay, any one of these absorption dynamometers. Clear? Okay, that we further explain what is Prony, what is rope, what is hydraulic and what is eddy current dynamometer, that I explain after. Okay, so next move forward. Second one is transmission dynamometer. What is transmission dynamometer? It is totally reversed from the first one, and first one is absorption dynamometer. So transmission means, a word denote that transmission means transmit the energy, not absorbed. Okay, transmit, only it transmit the energy. So in this dynamometer, energy is not wasted in the friction, but energy is conveyed to the surrounding. Energy does not wasted in the friction, and energy is conveyed to the where? Conveyed to the surrounding in a useful mechanical or electrical form. So energy is totally transmit, not absorbed. Energy is not wasted in a friction, but energy is conveyed to the surrounding in a useful mechanical or electrical form. Okay, this type of dynamometer is known as transmission dynamometer. Yes, transmission dynamometer. And the example of transmission dynamometer is belt transmission dynamometer, epicyclic dynamometer, torsion dynamometer and strain gauge dynamometer. Okay, example: belt transmission, epicyclic train dynamometer, torsion dynamometer and strain gauge dynamometer. Okay, this is the second type of dynamometer, transmission dynamometer. Okay, chalo. Next one is driving dynamometer. Which? Driving dynamometer. Driving dynamometer. So in this dynamometer, the power producing or some absorbing device is coupled with the electrical generator or electrical motor. So when the motor or this electrical generator measure what? It measure power and also supply the energy to the operate or tested device. So this type of dynamometer is employed with pump or devices which is used for energy, that is compressor. So this type of dynamometer is employed with pump and compressor for determining their performance. Clear? This type of dynamometer is known as driving dynamometer. So in this dynamometer, power or producing Power producing or absorbing device is coupled with the electrical generator or electrical motor. The motor or generator measure power and also supply the energy to the operate the tested devices. So this type of dynamometer is employed with pump and compressor for determining their performance. For example of driving dynamometer is electrical cradle dynamometer. Which one? Electrical cradle dynamometer. Okay, so these three types of dynamometer is the classification of all. First one is absorption dynamometer, second one is transmission dynamometer, and third one is driving dynamometer. Okay students, please keep in mind the question is classification of dynamometer. Okay, now let's move forward to the next question. It is torsion bar dynamometer. So first start with the theory. First I want to show that the equation of theta. First see that clear. Theta equal to 2 into T into L upon pi g in bracket R0 raised to 4 minus Ri raised to 4. So first what is theta, what is T? Let us discuss. First of all, theta means twisting angle, angle of twist. And what is T? T means, yes, this one. T means torque. Sorry, torque. And L means length. The length of shaft. This shaft, the length of shaft under which the measuring the twisted angle. So not whole L, only the angle of twisted, the length of shaft under the case of measuring the twisted angle. This is the L. Okay, and what is, and we know the value of pi is 3.14. Okay, then what is G? G means shear modulus or modulus of rigidity. Okay, what is R0? R0 means outer radius, and what is Ri? It's inner radius. Clear? So let's repeat. What is theta? Theta means angle of twist and it is in radian. Okay, what is T? T means torque. Clear? T means torque. Or what is L? L means the length of shaft under the case the study of measuring the twisting angle. Okay, and what is G? G means shear modulus or modulus of rigidity. What is R0? R0 means outer radius. What is Ri? Ri means inner radius. So in torsion bar dynamometer we have to find the value of torque. Value of torque. So value of torque L. L it's already given. G it's also already given through the table. R0 and Ri it's the radius of this disc. This disc B and this disc A. This is the disc. Okay, let me zoom the figure. Okay, now you can see clearly the figure. Okay, first in torsion bar dynamometer the torque of rotating element can be measured based on rigidity of rotating element. Rotating element is this shaft. Okay, in this rotating element is our shaft. So the torque of rotating element can be measured based on rigidity of rotating element. Okay, in this dynamometer the torque or rotating element can be measured by measuring angle of twist. What is our angle of twist? Yes, theta. Okay, now let us consider that the hollow shaft, this shaft is hollow shaft, its inner and outer radius, this is Ri and Ro, or torque T and angle of twist theta. So our equation is theta is equal to 2 into TL upon pi g in bracket r0 raised to 4 minus ri raised to 4. Clear? Okay. So first of all, angle of twist theta in the shaft due to torque T can be measured by torsion meter. Okay, which meter? Torsion meter, either optical or an electrical arrangement. Here we used the arrangement is you can see that observer or mirror. So we used optical arrangement for the measuring angle of twist and torque. Clear? So angle of twist theta in the shaft due to torque T can be measured by torsion meter, either optical or electrical arrangement. So we use optical measurement, and then torque T is calculated by the above equation. So first we have to find theta. So we have to find theta. If we find theta in this equation, so first we have to find theta and then put the value of theta here, then L here, pi, G, R0 and Ri. Then we consequently find the value of torque. So first we have to find the value of angle of twist, that is theta. Okay. So first an optical arrangement consists of a calibrated scale. Which scale? Calibrated scales are used to read the relative angular displacement of these two sections A or B. Clear? The disc A and B mounted at a distance of angle at a distance, which distance? L distance. The disc A, the disc B and the disc A is mounted at a distance L on the shaft, move relative to each other through an angle of theta. Clear? Okay. Next, how we can find the angle of theta? Due to the application, when we applied the torque, when shaft move freely, then no error, no angle is detected. So angle theta is equal to 0. But when the shaft move freely, so angle theta is equal to 0. That is, no angle of twist we have to detect. So first, when we applied the torque, due to application of torque T, the shaft is twisted with an angle, some angle. We just assume that the angle is theta. So when we applied the torque T, the shaft is twisted with the angle theta. So theta is our angle of twist. So this is recorded by the observer. This is observer with the help of this optical arrangement. So we can clearly see the angle. If there is no deflection, so angle theta is equal to 0. But when the application of torque is applied of the shaft, then shaft is twisted with the theta angle. So this mirror effect, that we can say that optical arrangement. So this is recorded by the observer with the help of this optical arrangement. Clear, students? Okay, this disc have a this disc have a some hole, so that pass the light through that hole, and these light rays are passes to the mirror, and this mirror is deflect directly to the observer or eyesight. Clear? So disc is hollow type. Okay, disc is hollow type, and this hole is provided for the entering the light source from that side, and these light rays are passes through that hole and directly passes to the mirror, and then clearly see through the observer eyesight. Okay, this is our torsion dynamometer. Then we have to find the angle of theta, then put the value of angle of theta here. So the subject the value of T, then T is equal to theta into pi g into r0 raised to 4 minus ri raised to 4, divide 2 into L. So now we find the value of torque easily. Clear? So only, students, first keep this equation in your mind: theta equal to 2TL upon pi g in bracket r0 raised to 4 minus ri raised to 4. so that you can easily find the value of torque. First, just keep in mind that first you have to find the value of angle of twist, and then put this value, and then you can find the value of torque. So that is totally easiest question. Okay, this is the torsion bar dynamometer. Okay students, now let's move forward. Question: it is mechanical dynamometer, that is also known as Prony brake dynamometer. Okay students, most of question is asked in the examination that Prony brake dynamometer, explain Prony brake dynamometer with its construction and its working. Okay students, so please keep that in mind. Okay, so first start with the construction. I am having the diagram of Prony brake dynamometer. It consists of a pulley that is attached to a shaft. Okay, a pulley that is attached to the shaft. The shaft whose power that we have to measure, we want to measure the power of shaft. So now we are mounting pulley, or you can say that brake drum over the shaft. Okay, next we are having a wooden blocks. You can see clearly that strips are wooden blocks. We are having a wooden blocks, lower side, lower wooden block and upper wooden block. Okay, these wooden blocks are mounted over the pulley or brake drum with the help of this rope and this tightening arrangement, so that wooden blocks are over the pulley. Okay, so that we can adjust the gap of wooden block and the pulley with the help of tightening arrangement through a rope. Next we are having a lever. This one, this is called a lever. We are having a lever. As we can see that from the center of the shaft, and this weight or a load which is applied. So from the center of the shaft to the load, the distance is known as L. Okay, this distance from center of shaft to load which have to applied, the distance between this is L. So it is called the length of lever L. Okay, these stoppers are provided to restrict or resist the motion of the lever. You can see that these stoppers are provided to restrict or resist the motion of a lever. So lever could not move downward or upward to that extreme position. Okay, with the help of these stoppers. Then you can see the clearly students that we are having a counterweight which avoid the vibration of this lever. Counterweight which avoid the vibration of this lever. Okay, so this was regarding the construction of Prony brake dynamometer. Now let us discuss about how does it function. Okay, so how does it function, Prony brake dynamometer? First, Prony brake dynamometer is mechanical dynamometer, and it is a absorption type dynamometer. It's already discussed earlier that Prony brake dynamometer is the example of absorption type dynamometer. Okay, so it stops the shaft and measure the power. That's why it is called Prony brake dynamometer. So it first stop the shaft and then measure the power. That's why it's called absorption type dynamometer. Now start the working of Prony brake dynamometer. So first, shaft is rotating. When shaft is rotating, we have mounted a brake drum, or we can say that a pulley. So this brake drum or pulley will also rotate with the help of this rotating shaft. You can see that this arrow. So this arrow denotes that the pulley or our brake drum is rotating clockwise direction. we attaching weight here. When once we attached weight here, then this lever would be would be in downward direction through the weight. Along with the wooden block will moving downward. So upward wooden block will move through the pulley. Okay. The moment we are attaching, we are going on increasing the value of load here. The wooden blocks, they come closer to the wooden blocks. Once the load value has reached up to a value where it will be just come in contact with brake drum, then these brake drums stops. And then when the brake drum is stopped, then we will be noticed the value of this load, this weight, that how much is the load here, and at that time what is the length of this lever. So power is calculated by the formula P is equal to 2 pi n upon 60 into W into L. Okay, that we have already know that what is the formula of power. Power P equal to 2 pi n upon 60 into W into L. So that equation we can easily find the power P equal to 2 pi n upon 60 and W into L. W is already calculated here, and what is the L? The length of the distance between this shaft to the weight. Okay, L, and N means the RPM. So that we can easily find the value of power. So students, I think you have a question that how can we find the value of N? N means revolution, this revolution of brake drum or revolution of this pulley. So N is calculated with the help of tachometer. Tachometer is a device which is used for measuring RPM, so that we can easily find the value of N. Clear? Let's repeat this question once again. Okay, what is Prony brake dynamometer? Okay, first of all you have to know that what is dynamometer. Dynamometer is a device which is used to measure the power of shaft or a pulley. Okay, to measure the power of shaft or pulley. Okay, in Prony brake dynamometer we can see that we have a brake drum or a pulley which is mounted on a shaft, two wooden blocks, upper wooden blocks, lower wooden blocks. These are attached with a rope to the lever with tightening arrangement, one counterweight, and these are this side is weight. These two are stoppers. Okay, so when we applied the weight here, so that wooden blocks are moves forward or moves closer to the block drum or a pulley, so that pulley can be stopped. At that time we are listing out the value of load weight and the value of length L, so that we can easily find the value of power P with the help of formula P is equal to 2 pi n upon 60 into W into L. Okay, and how can we find the value of N? With the help of tachometer. Okay, the value of N means revolution of this pulley. So students, I think you are easily understand about Prony brake dynamometer. Okay, now let's move to the next question. Let's start the another question. Question name is rope brake dynamometer. What? Rope brake dynamometer. Here in this figure, first we are starting with the construction, then after the function of this dynamometer. Okay, first this is our shaft. As we know that what is dynamometer? Dynamometer is a device which is used to measure the power of this rotating shaft or a pulley. Okay, so let's start with the construction. This is our shaft. This one is brake drum. Brake drum is mounted over the shaft. Okay, and this is our rope which is mounted over a brake drum or a pulley. In rope, there are, you can see that, several wooden blocks for a better frictional improvement. Okay, there are wooden blocks for better frictional in the rope. So now you can see that one end of a rope is goes to the spring balance, and another end of the rope is goes to the dead weight, which is denoted by W. So as I discussed earlier, to avoid the slipping of the rope over the pulley, 3 or 4 U-shape wooden blocks are placed at the wooden blocks are placed at equal interval. You can see that equal interval around the circumference of this pulley. Clear? So due to friction between the rope and drum, high amount of heat is generated. The heat is generated is so much high, hence the pulley is provided with internal flanges on this rim. So it forms for the flow of water to cool the pulley and drum. So we have to cool this pulley to avoid the high heat is generated. Okay, so we are provided this cooling water to reduce the heating effect. Okay, so these dynamometers are commonly used for the absorption of wider range of power. So this type of dynamometer are also known as absorption type dynamometer, as earlier discussed a Prony brake dynamometer. Clear, students? Now let's move forward to the working of this dynamometer. Okay, so this type of dynamometer are basically known as absorption type dynamometer, and the shaft would be stopped in order to its measure its power. And as we have mounted a brake drum over this shaft, other end of the rope, the lower end of the rope is attaching with several weights. When you attach the weight here, the rope will be tightened along this brake drum, and the rope gets wound along the brake drum, and finally the rope would be stopping the brake drum, or we can see that pulley. Now once the brake drum has stopped, in the spring balance we would be getting the reading. So we can take the reading of a spring balance, and in the lower side we would be knowing the weight which we have attached. So now W and S means spring balance. This W and S values are known for us, and diameter of brake drum is there with us. So we have a power formula. That power is given by P is equal to, you can see that P is equal to 2 pi n upon 60 into W minus S into R. So first of all, n means the rotation of a brake drum, means RPM, so that we can measure it with the help of, yes, with the help of tachometer. Okay, then W is also known for us now. Then S means spring balance. It reading can be it can be read by us. Okay, then what is R? R means radius from radius means brake drum radius plus a rope radius from the shaft. Okay, this addition of brake drum radius and rope radius from the shaft. So that we can easily measure the value of power 2 pi n upon 60 into W minus S into R in the terms of watt. Okay, students, now let's repeat these questions once again. So in rope brake dynamometer, first of all we have to know that what is dynamometer. Dynamometer means it is a device which measure the power of shaft and or brake drum. Clear? So in rope brake dynamometer, it consists 1, 2 or more ropes wound around the rim of a pulley, or you can say that a brake drum. So it consists 1, 2 or more ropes wound around the rim of a pulley of a flywheel which is keyed to the shaft of an engine. Clear? So the upper end of a rope is connected to a spring balance, and whereas you can say that lower end carries a dead weight W. You can see in this figure. So to avoid a slipping of the rope over a pulley, there are 3 or 4 U-shaped wooden blocks are placed at equal interval around the circumference of this pulley. Okay, so due to friction between the rope and drum, high amount of heat is generated. So the pulley is provided with internal flanges of the rim. It forms a channel for the flow of water to cool the pulley and drum. So here you can see that cooling water is applied to cool, to heat, to avoid heating effect in the pulley. So these dynamometers are commonly used for absorptions of wide range of power. So you can calculate the power with the help of this formula: P is equal to 2 pi n upon 60 into W minus S into R. R means effective radius, that is radius of brake drum and radius of rope. These additions are known as effective radius R. R is equal to, you can see that R means RD plus RR. RD means diameter, radius of brake drum, and RR means radius of rope. These additions are known as effective radius R. So you have a radius R, and you can find with the tightening the rope, you can find the value of dead weight W and the spring balance S. These readings you have to know, and put these values are in this formula. Then you are finding the value of brake power of the engine in terms of watt. Okay students, and please keep in mind that rope and brake drum dynamometer may be used for the wide range of 75 to 36,800 watt and for speeds up to 4,000 rpm. So please keep in mind that its range and speed. Rope and band brake dynamometer may be used for the range of 75 to 36,800 watt and for speed up to 4,000 rpm. Okay student, this is the question of rope brake dynamometer. Now let's move forward. Now our question is that what is AD current dynamometer? So before we start this question, first of all you have to know about the dynamometer. It is already discussed earlier that dynamometer means it is a device which is used to measure power or torque of a rotating shaft or a brake drum. Okay, but what is AD current? So when AD current is produced, so for example please take a conducting rod which is for example, just assume that a conducting rod is a material which is made by a copper. When we passed a magnet into that a copper bar, then magnet have north or south pole because our magnet is permanent magnet. So when magnet travel according to this copper tube, then when magnet travels across the tube, then due to its magnetic line along with the magnet, a current is produced on the circumference of this copper tube, which is like a circular ring is now on the surface of our copper tube, and these circular rings are known as eddy current. So when this eddy current is produced on the circumference of this copper tube, so eddy current have also its magnetic lines. Yes, so This magnetic flux which is produced from the eddy current is opposed to that magnet. In that magnet is also a magnetic line is or magnetic flux is produced. So eddy current oppose this magnet travel according to this tube. Oppose it means it stop if there are so much magnetic flux more than its own. So this is known as eddy current. इन शॉर्ट एडी करंट कि जिसमें मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स पैदा होता है और वो ही विरोध करता है जिसके कारण वो पैदा हुआ है. सो ट्यूब में जो एडी करंट प्रोड्यूस हुआ है वो जो मैग्नेट है उसको रेजिस्ट करेगा, उसको रोकेगा. नाउ let's move to the construction of eddy current dynamometer. In eddy current dynamometer, it consists of a rotor. This one is our rotor. Now the rotor is a shaft whose power is want to measure. A shaft, it can be crankshaft or machine shaft or engine shaft whose power we want to measure. Next we have a stator, and stator is a stationary member, and stator it has having a number of poles, and we can say that a teeth. DC supply is given to the field to the stator. Okay, a DC supply is given to the field, or we can say that field or a coil. So when we DC supplied, then a field is produced some magnetic lines, or we can say that magnetic flux. So this magnetic flux, you can say that this magnetic flux is cut to the rotor as well as stator. Let me discuss once again. When we DC supplied is given to stator, then magnetic field is produced around this rotor, and once the rotor starts rotating, that magnetic field is cut, and once the magnetic field is cut, then there is eddy current is generated because of the loss of magnetic field. So when the rotor rotates, eddy currents are produced in the stator due to magnetic flux setup, the passage of the field current in the electromagnets. These eddy currents are dissipated in producing heat, so that this type of dynamometer required some cooling arrangement. So we have some arrangement for cooling. So when the torque is measured exactly as in the other types of absorption dynamometer, that is with the help of a moment arm. The load in an internal combustion engine testing is controlled by regulating the current in the electromagnets, so that at instant the torque is measured with the help of torque arm and given to the pointer. So we can get directly value of torque, and once we can get the value of torque, then we can calculate the power with the use of eddy current dynamometer. So as we have seen, in case of mechanical dynamometer, it consists of friction. So it means friction was involved in mechanical dynamometer, but you can see in eddy current dynamometer there is no contact of rotor and stator, so the friction is reduced in eddy current dynamometer. So that is an advantage of eddy current dynamometer. Next advantage is these dynamometer are fast as in operation, then they are lighter in weight. But if we consider the disadvantages, then it requires external power supply, that is we applied a DC supply, and then there is eddy current loss, and there is lots of chance of short circuiting, and lots of heat is generated. So these are some advantages and disadvantages of eddy current dynamometer. So I think students, you can easily understand what is eddy current dynamometer. Let's repeat this question once again. Now let's move to the construction. Here I have the diagram of eddy current dynamometer. Now it consists of a rotor, this one, a rotor, and this rotor is a shaft of a power whose power the rotor is a shaft whose power is to be measured. And the shaft, it means it can be crankshaft or any other shaft, means engine shaft, any shaft whose power is to be measured, that we are taking as a rotor. Next we are having a stator. Yes, this one. Stator is a stationary member and it has a pole which is also known as a teeth. Then you can see that DC supply is given to that field through the stator. It's a field, or you can say that coil. A DC supply is given to the coil through the stator. And you know that eddy current dynamometer, there are lot of heat is generated, so we have arrangement of a cooling water. So you need to cool the dynamometer. For that, cooling arrangement is required. And then we are having this arm, so that which is directly connecting to a pointer which shows the amount of torque. And if we know the torque, we have a formula to find the power. So that was regarding the construction. And now how does it work? The shaft which is rotating is acting as a rotor. We are supplying DC current to the stator, and when DC supply is given to the stator, magnetic field is produced around the rotor. And once this rotor starts rotating, that magnetic field is cut, and once the magnetic field is cut, there is eddy current generated because of the loss of magnetic field. And when eddy current is generated, at that instant a arm which is used for measuring torque, and it gives to the reading to the pointer. So we can get directly value of the torque. Once we know the value of torque, we can find the value of power by using eddy current dynamometer. So this is the perfect construction and working of eddy current dynamometer. Okay students.